Hello, everybody. Welcome to Reaction Shots for September in the year of our Lord, 2018.
Give me the blood.
Give me the blood, Lord. Huber's got a splitting headache, and we've just been screaming, "Give me the blood, Lord," for the last few minutes. I don't know.
It's usually what I do when I have a headache. Scream louder.
Yeah.
I've abandoned my boy.
Yeah, so we've got an interesting episode this week, month. It's about detectives.
Yeah, it is.
Private eyes.
P.S.
And police detectives also.
Yes.
Not public detectives. Public eyes.
Anyone detecting.
Anyone detecting anything.
Yeah.
We had one comment that The Conversation doesn't count as a detective movie, and while I suppose you're technically right, he's not a detective. He does some detecting.
Okay. So
Right?
Gene Hackman?
Gene Hackman. It's one of my favorite movies, actually.
Dude, all
I
right.
really love The Conversation.
Yeah.
It's a Coppola movie between
right.
Godfather 1 and 2, I think?
Mm-hmm.
Or 2 and 3? 1 and 2. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, but before we jump into that kind of stuff, Huber, have you seen anything recently that you have liked?
I saw something I didn't like.
Tell me about
The
it.
Nun. Skip it.
Skip it?
Skip.
What's wrong with it?
It's just boring. It wasn't scary.
And normally you're the kind of person who kind of gives a lot of stuff in this kind of
Genre.
a benefit of the doubt,
Mhm.
like especially if it's literally a part of the Conjuring cinematic universe.
Yeah.
You usually give it a pass.
I allow myself to be scared,
Mhm.
and this one didn't really do it for me. There were a couple cool shots.
Sure.
Really dark tone. The beginning was pretty heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And then the end had a really good moment of gore.
Mm.
But other than that, it didn't hit.
Underwhelming.
Really poor character choices.
Uh.
Too many shots of the nun. Way too many.
Yeah.
Filming the nun in every possible way you can. Like
Every angle.
Like shadowy thing, like in the window, in the rafters, in the ground. It's just like
So they're trying to do a PT.
It was too much.
They're like, get her in every different part of the house.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
It was too much.
Did you ever see Darkness Falls?
Like once
100 years. Yeah, I saw it in
Yeah.
the theater like 100 years ago. And I was like, I remember being, it was probably not a good movie, but I remember being very scared for the first half, and then they showed the monster.
Yeah.
Was just like some floaty lady with like a dress on or whatever. And then I wasn't scared anymore.
That's how I was with the Babadook. Everyone loved the Babadook.
Oh.
And then they show Babadook, and I'm like, But
And then it lost you.
yeah. It's still a good movie, but
Yeah, I heard good things about the Babadook.
Babadook's good, but I was expecting something different, I guess.
I'm currently trying to like build up confidence and courage to see the new It and to watch Hereditary.
Both 10 out of 10s.
Yeah. I
The
knew that you liked
best.
them both, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're coming out on video or whatever soon, I think. Well, it's already out.
Yeah.
I think Hereditary might be out already. I
think
don't know.
it like just came out or it's just coming out. Yeah.
And I'm like, I could maybe do these in my house.
Oh, I'm so
maybe.
I'm so intrigued to know what you think about Hereditary.
I'm curious too. Is it by the witch guy? It is, right? I think.
I don't know. I forget.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, I forget.
I've heard them mentioned in the same breath a lot, but
I think maybe the same studio. Like production.
Okay. We should know this kind of stuff.
Yeah, but I don't.
I knew it when it came out, but now
Me
I
too.
forget.
The moment is past.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry you didn't like The Nun, Huber.
Yeah, I know. It was all
I know
time.
you were looking forward to it.
Yeah. And it's crazy, the momentum of a franchise, the biggest opening for a Conjuring movie yet.
Oh, really?
So it's pretty wild.
Do you think it'll tank the opening for the next one?
I think so, yeah. The stock will go down.
Mm-hmm.
So.
At Comic-Con, they did have a swarm of freaky, faceless nuns wandering the streets of San Diego, though.
That's freaky.
I saw that. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Anything else that you've seen that you liked or disliked?
I started Iron Fist. I watched the first 2 episodes. It's finally
Season
only
1 or
10.
Season 2?
Season 2.
Okay.
Only 10 episodes. They finally did it, man. Netflix.
What do they used to be?
13.
They should be 8.
They should be 8, but this is a start.
Like every single one of those Marvels, even the ones
yeah,
I liked, I'm
yeah.
like, this is a good 5 episodes too long.
Defenders is 8, and it's still too long.
Yeah. 6. Make them 6. A
Uh,
tight 6.
I watched the first 2 though, and I like it so far.
Okay. I heard that Iron Fist 1 was legendarily terrible.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Okay.
2 though is good so far. Good
Okay.
fighting, good combat.
Well, that's
what
good.
I'm there
I mean,
for.
that's what you hope for in a
Yeah.
martial arts.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I always meant to go back and finish. What is it called? The one where guns don't exist. The martial arts Into the Badlands.
Into the Badlands.
I watched the first
Yes.
half of season 1 and really liked it, and
Yeah.
then fell off for some reason.
Oh, it's so good. Season 3 just ended
Oh.
like a month ago.
Oh.
So
I gotta hop on.
It's good.
Hop
It's
on
good.
board.
Yeah.
Some really cool characters and costume design in that.
the Widow, dude.
Yeah, I know.
The best.
I know. You gotta watch The Patriot
I know.
every month with this.
I know.
Oh,
Every month. Every month.
Huber and I need to issue an apology.
What'd we do?
An official apology.
I'm
Last
sorry.
month we said, before this month,
Yeah.
do you remember
That
what we
we
said?
would
We would watch Hudson Hawk.
That's right. Did not
And
watch
to
that.
my knowledge, neither of us has had a chance. So we're sorry
Yeah.
to you, the viewers, the listeners.
Need to watch it still.
It's still on the list.
It's still on the list.
we will not forsake you.
Yeah.
If we ever have time and don't have headaches, we should watch it and do a
Commentary on
like
Hudson Hawk.
a reaction.
blind commentary?
Yeah, blind commentary.
Dude, I'm down for that.
That'd be pretty funny. Probably would ruin our viewing experience. But
It's still really fun.
yeah.
Seems like the movie, kind of movie though.
Yeah, it would be okay.
That would be
Also, that's kind of a successful budding little business on YouTube. People doing like blind commentaries and commentary tracks and stuff. Yeah.
like the Woody Show on the radio. It's a radio show in Los Angeles. They do millennial movie reviews as a
Oh.
little bit. It's actually pretty funny.
Uh-huh.
They had like one of their interns do I forget the movie now. Damn it. But anyway, they do millennial movie reviews for like classic movies like Terminator,
Was
Terminator
it?
2.
Oh, classic movie. Okay.
Like our generation of
Sure,
movies,
sure.
but asking younger kids
A
to
Gen
just
Z
review
or-
them. Yeah.
There's
Funny
a funny
idea.
Well, yeah, it's a good idea. There's a funny thing happening right now where Gen Z, the one after us, is being
X?
No, X is the one before us. We're millennials.
Why? Or why?
And millennials.
Okay.
It's all the same thing.
Got it.
But I see a lot of people conflating Gen Z with millennials.
Mm-hmm.
Millennials own houses and have kids now. Like we're millennials.
I don't know
I'm
how you
I'm
own
like
a
an
house.
exennial. I've heard that term. Like on
could
the
go either
the
way.
older side of millennials.
I like
'Cause
that.
I was born in '85.
I'm
so
jealous.
Yeah.
Ew.
Anyway, whatever. Who cares? All of it's pretend. Anything else? No.
That is it.
All right.
Oh, and then I finished Sharp Objects. But
You're right.
Yeah.
I also finished Sharp Objects. What'd you think of it?
loved it.
Yeah?
Loved it.
I was trying to talk about it with you yesterday, and you were like standoffish.
I was?
I was like, hey, should we do a spoiler mode about it? And you like ignored me.
I think I said yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't hear you say yes.
Yeah, I definitely said yes.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I'm down.
All right.
I'm always down.
Okay.
Someone ropes me in for a spoiler mode that I've seen. Count me in.
He roped me into this. Well,
Did
okay.
you watch the like mid credits
Yes.
stuff? It was weird.
At the end of the last episode?
It was weird to like end it on a huh?
They
and then like show it.
Did you watch the like after the episode?
No.
We're getting dangerously close to spoiler territory, but like
Yeah, maybe
The
maybe
very
put-
after
maybe put a
credits-
spoiler warning like right.
well, the after credits, the like making of that HBO does, the behind the scenes, they talked about their decision why they did that.
Okay. Interesting.
Anyway, Sharp Objects, we're all good. We'll do a spoiler mode.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I also saw Sharp Objects. That was going to be the first thing I talked about, but we'll talk about it ad nauseum later. I saw the movie Searching.
Nice.
Did
I
you
wanna
get a
see
chance
this.
to see it?
No.
Searching was very good. I intentionally, I usually try to go into stuff without knowing as little as possible. I didn't watch
Yeah.
a trailer or anything. But it's one of those movies like Unfriended or Unfriended Dark Web or one of those where the whole movie takes place on computer screens.
So rad.
But this one's not scary. I mean, it's scary, but in a different way. It's like a thriller. And there's a police detective in it, and then John Cho's character is a dad of this missing girl, but he acts sort of as a detective too, like looking through her social media and tries to figure out who his daughter is, you know. It's very well done. It's surprisingly good and really emotional. I think you would love it. You would love it. It's so good.
Dang.
It's so good.
Yeah, I love John Cho.
He's great.
He's amazing.
He's great in it. And yeah, it's just I can't. There are so many things I want to say about it, but I don't want to influence
Yeah.
your. Yeah.
Okay.
Just see Searching, everyone.
Should have
if you
saw it
can
instead
get a
of the
chance.
damn Nun.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I'm upset.
Last night, here's another one that you would like. Perfect Blue. I went and saw the anime film Perfect Blue. They showed it again.
Ben was saying this too. Every time someone says Perfect Blue, I think of Blue Crush.
Someone else was saying Deep Blue Sea. I thought I was talking about. And they were like, "What, the sharks?" And I'm like, "No, not at all." There's some tetra fish in it, but otherwise, no.
I heard it's real dark.
It's pretty dark. It's basically like a scathing indictment of Japanese idol culture, but I think you could very, very easily kind of just extend it to fandom and starhood at large, and how the system kind of like chews you up and spits you out, but especially of the Japanese pop idol kind of situation. It's so good. And I owned it on, it's one of the many anime DVDs I bought from Suncoast Video in Maplewood, Minnesota.
So it's older
when I was a child. Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, I thought it was a new release.
No. It just came out. I don't know if it was like a 10, 20 year. Man, when did that movie come out?
Yeah, I'd never even heard of it. It's just replaying in the theaters, right? That's why.
It was a Fathom Events. It was G Kids, who we actually have a deal with. Exactly. We gave out some tickets to Perfect Blue, actually. If you're ever interested in that, check out our live streams on Tuesday nights. Oftentimes we have deals with G Kids. Our logo is supposed to be in front of it. I missed it. I didn't see it, but Ben went and saw it, and he saw our logo on the big screen. 1997.
Whoa.
Right? Yeah. It's very, very good.
97.
What a messed up year for movies. I feel like Requiem for a Dream came out like somewhere in the mid-90s.
Top 10 movies you never need to see again.
Yeah, yes.
That's got to be number one.
It's up there. Have we ever done that?
No.
Well, we did that episode about this movie, movies that wrecked us.
Yeah.
But check that episode out. But yeah, Perfect Blue is basically Requiem for a Dream meets Black Swan. Black Swan actually uses shots directly from Perfect Blue. Like when she's in the tub and it's the top-down shot, and then it's the side shot of her screaming underwater. That's from Perfect Blue.
Did they admit that?
It's an homage. I think it's like intentional. It's overt.
Okay.
So it would be brazen theft.
Familiar with
okay. If it's not an homage, it was brazen theft. But I imagine it was an homage. Also, I've caught the first few episodes of this season of Venture Bros. It just feels like a warm blanket, that show being back. It takes me back to college years.
That's cozy.
Did you see Black Klansman?
No.
Hubie!
I saw The Nun, dude.
You gotta stop seeing The Nun! Quit seeing The Nun over and over again and see these other movies. Well, Black Klansman is really good. Also a detective movie.
Yeah.
Very intense. I won't mention it, but the end was very real. Whoa. Very intense.
I bet.
Super good movie.
Yeah.
Check it out. I think you'd really dig it.
It's a must-watch.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's going to be nominated for Oscars. And
well, I certainly hope so. It's very good. Anyway.
There was actually, I just haven't been watching The Nun. There was something else I saw, but it was like over a month ago now. I forgot about it.
What was it?
Crazy Rich Asians.
Oh, yeah. How was that?
So good.
Yeah?
Delightful film. Great cast. Great leads. Aquafina, I had never really heard of her.
I've heard the name, but I can't picture her right now.
Hilarious.
Really?
And just like really well shot in Singapore. They're like doing all these cool shots, because they go there, and it was really, really good.
What I heard was that it's a really good, like if you like rom-coms, it stands in there with like the good rom-coms.
Yeah, it was funny, but it's definite dramedy territory.
Okay.
So
nice.
It was it's one of those movies you just, while you're watching it, when you're done watching it, you're just like, that was good.
Yeah.
I love that feeling.
Nice. All right. On to this month's topic, which is detectives.
Nice.
We're going to do that thing again since it's just you and I. We don't have a guest today or a third person. So the third person, the guest, is you, the viewers.
Yes.
Sometimes we like to do episodes like this where I lean a little heavier on comments.
I like it.
We hear from everyone. Yeah.
It feels like we're all like sitting down in a circle and I like it.
And we got a lot of really cool comments this month. You're definitely going to hear a lot from Tokyo Slim. He had good answers for just about everything, so we're going to get him in there quite a few times. But yeah, so let's talk about detectives. This is a favorite genre of ours, of yours and of mine.
Definitely.
Definitely some of my favorites. I want to hear yours in a sec if I miss any of yours. But some of my favorites include Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049, of course. Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Searching, Black Klansman. I threw those in there. Chinatown, Brick, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Rear Window, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, The Big Lebowski, Out of the Past, Vertigo, Memento, Mulholland Drive, Seven, Silence of the Lambs, LA Confidential, Zodiac, and The Conversation. And I cannot believe I forgot to mention Fargo in that list because I love that movie with all my heart.
And huge omission. Offensive. Batman.
All the Batmans.
All of them.
Yeah.
The world's greatest detective, Ian. Come on.
Hey, you have a lot of people agreeing with you in the comments, let me tell you. Batman came up.
I bet it did.
I love a good Batman. I want one of these hardcore, and someone else said this too, but I want one of these hardcore blockbuster Batmans to take after more of the more detective-y comics versions of Batman.
Totally. He leaned in on it on Dark Knight, I feel like. Dark Knight, we get more like detective.
Yeah, and he uses the surveillance with the cell phones and what's his name?
But I know what you're saying.
Fox or whatever is like, this is not okay. It's just like, this is not good.
I'm glad you brought up Blade Runner first.
Oh, yeah. Which is funny because technically he's more like a hitman detective combo thing.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
he's
a detective too.
One of my favorite things about Deckard is his pistol.
Yeah.
Sick detective weapon.
Yeah, classic.
Like futuristic revolver, you know?
I feel like... Oh, I said LA Confidential. Yeah. I feel like there are two staple detective weapons, and of course it's a pistol. Yeah. And then for the end of the movie, like Guy Pearce, you bust out a shotgun.
Yup. Yeah. Like in the trunk of a car.
Yeah. You just pull out and then of course like the Tommy gun. But the bad guys usually use the Tommy gun.
That's true.
The pistol it's a precision
hero weapon.
Yeah, you're shooting. You're not spraying and praying. You're shooting only the thing that needs to be shot.
Yep. Like Deus Ex, I basically RP as like Deckard replicant hunter.
Sure.
Like, revolver only. Yeah.
I actually, but I tell you though, something I like more than a detective with a pistol is a detective with nothing.
No weapons.
Because
he's not getting
at
his
a
hands
disadvantage. Dirty. Not getting his hands dirty or can't. We'll talk about this too. A favorite trope coming up. We'll talk about this more. But being out of your element, out of your depth. Yeah. Like in Brick. Brick is one of my faves. But like the whole time he's just getting the crap kicked out of him. I love that. Detectives who take a beating throughout the movie. Like John Getty's just like getting his nose almost cut off and he's like, I like my nose. I like breathing through it. It's a whole other sticky wicket. Chinatown is one of my favorite movies, but it was directed by Roman Polanski, who definitely has a sordid past.
Yes.
And I definitely think that he is guilty of all of that. And I just want to say, like, quickly, briefly, like, it's not intended as a acceptance of that behavior or anything like that. But we're talking about detective movies, and Chinatown is one of the classics, so it would feel weird to omit it.
Totally.
But it also just feels weird not to mention that.
Definitely.
But yeah, definitely that's there. Also, Blade Runner 1 is like
Blade Runner 1,
pretty problematic, pretty rapey.
Oh yeah.
But Blade Runner 1, yeah, I mean, besides that, my read here, I want to get your opinion on this. My read on both Blade Runner movies is, I mean, Deckard is not the good guy of the first movie. Like the replicants kind of are. They're just trying to live.
Trying to live in peace.
Sure, they do a bunch of bad stuff, but like everyone's bad. If everybody's bad, the baseline shifts. And then Blade Runner 2049 is almost about kind of not men specifically, but people feeling pointless in a world beyond their control. And I think that's a theme that comes up a lot in detective films, especially, is because you're trying to piece together something that you don't you don't have the answers. You shouldn't oftentimes you shouldn't know the answers, and you're just trying to piece it together. And I think Blade Runner 2049 exemplifies this kind of modality, or this kind of idea where, yeah, you're way out of your element. You shouldn't be investigating these things. You aren't really an important part of this puzzle. And then you choose how to handle that information. What do you do with that? You know?
Yeah, it's got that noir element, you know? I think of old noirs and detective movies and, you know, Bogart, Philip Marlowe, and it's like they're damaged people trying to solve a case to kind of just like not fix themselves, but like fix, you know, there's always like in the film noir, there's like a femme fatale. So it's like maybe by fixing her, like I'll be fixing myself.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, Out of the Past is a very direct homage. The title is just about it, but that's a common thread through detective films, is this shady hurt, pain, this trauma from the past. And sometimes it comes out of the past and tries to influence your life. But yeah, I mean, even in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, his brother's dead. He's an alcoholic. He's got all these vices. I mean, smoking, alcohol, self-abuse. So many detective movies start with this detective at rock bottom.
Yeah.
And by solving the case, they oftentimes crawl out a little bit, just enough.
Yeah.
They never make it all the way.
Yeah.
They crawl out just enough.
That's why, we always dunk on Gotham. We always make fun of Gotham. But the way they've handled Jim Gordon's character arc, to me, is legendary, because he is an honest cop. He does start honest, but it's like, how far does he get pushed?
Yeah.
He gets pushed to the limit and does some terrible things. Like
sure.
Jim Gordon, you know?
Yeah.
Like, goes all the way to the dark side. So it's pretty awesome.
Wow.
To just
Jim Gordon.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Gets his hands dirty.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Is he
like losing faith in the system? He's got to do it himself.
Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. Dirty Cops is coming up. But yeah, just as a whole, I think detectives are a really good narrative tool, because some movies have an audience analog and it doesn't, like Hellboy 1, right, is an example of a not great audience analog, where you just have the new guy for kind of no reason, and he's just kind of there to ask a bunch of questions so that we can have the answers to those questions. Detective stories have it's a unique situation, because the detective is meant to be asking all these questions, and we discover things along with the detective. And I just think that detective narratives, just by their very nature, for that reason, are especially juicy and interactive.
That's so great.
Filmmaking
That's such a
experience.
good point.
Yeah,
I love that. You're so right. Just like walking up to a crime scene, you know, point of view of the detective, and then just like, all right, what do we got?
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, I love that.
Well, I mean,
I love that feeling.
That's something. Chinatown, I think, was one of the earlier ones, and I mean, certainly plenty of films have done this, especially since. But they had the camera, by and large, behind Jack Nicholson's character throughout most of the movie, and it has this unique kind of flavor where we're discovering things oftentimes just after he is, you know? And it's a very cool filmic kind of thing he sees a thing, we see him see it, and then we see it. And not in the sort of Hitchcock way, where a lot of times Hitchcock, he sets it up where you see their face reacting to a thing, and then it cuts to the thing, and then it cuts to the reaction. You know, that's his style. This one is you're just along for the ride. Children of Men, Inarritu, right?
Kieran.
Oh, Karan, right. I flipped him. He does that. I mean, Children of Men is all about that kind of thing. The long takes, discovering things along with the protagonist. I love it. Huber, what's your favorite detective film?
Like, the more we're talking about Blade Runner, is just got such a sick vibe, you know? Like, Deckard is so awesome.
Yeah. Well, kind of.
Yeah, kind of. Fascinating character.
Yeah, interesting.
I really like Blade Runner 2049.
I love Blade Runner 2049.
But if we're being real, you know, it's probably like Batman Begins or Dark Knight or something.
Sure. Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Also Zodiac.
Yes.
Zodiac's one of my favorite movies of all time.
And it's one of the several examples where the detective doesn't win.
Yeah.
You don't find out anything.
And I love when a detective teams up with someone, whether
Yeah.
that person is a private eye or just a citizen. You know, I always love that
Is there a
dynamic.
reporter in that, or
Yeah, reporter.
yeah?
Yep.
I like a good detective reporter matchup. Sharp Objects, for example.
Yeah.
Because it's a funny dichotomy to me, because the detective, their job is to discover the truth, yes, but oftentimes that also, especially with police detectives, it also requires them not to divulge information, whereas the journalist is just trying to find out everything and then get it out there. You know, not always, but yeah. I have a lengthy list of thoughts from the patrons.
Okay.
In the $7 and up film club tier.
Let's hear it.
On their favorites, and I think
Excellent.
that all of these are very interesting points. So we'll just go down them, and if anything jumps out to you, please just pipe up. Tokyo Slim, we'll start off with you. Just kind of a list here: Gone Baby Gone, Insomnia, The 7-Ups, Trance, In the Heat of the Night, 8 Million Ways to Die, Devil in a Blue Dress, Akira Kurosawa's High and Low, might qualify. Basic Instinct, The Name of the Rose, and neo-noir horror detective movie Angel Heart, which someone else brought up, and I had never heard of that.
Never heard of it.
I need to watch Angel Heart.
Sounds rad.
Sounds awesome. Apparently
Cool
it has
name.
a crazy twist.
Nice.
Tokyo Swim also has a real soft spot for Rising Sun, which I've also not seen.
Never seen
Good
it.
picks.
Yeah.
Mike Hook, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo for sure.
Nice.
I like Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Yeah.
I've seen the American one,
Mm-hmm.
and I think most of
I
the
like the other
first original Swedish.
I saw the first two. I never saw Hornet's Nest.
Yeah,
Or
I haven't
three?
seen the second or third of the originals. What do you think of this new one coming out? Someone asked us about that. It was interesting because the first time I saw the trailer, I had just seen another trailer with that same woman in it, the main actor. I don't remember her name right now. We're having a bad memory episode right now.
Yeah. It's a
Sorry.
headache, I'm telling you.
Yeah, but
Chat will let us know.
I mean, it
Comments.
looks cool. I like her makeup in the beginning, the white kind of like.
Sure. I'm down.
Yeah,
I like
I've got
those
nothing.
movies.
Ain't nothing got against it.
Yeah. I've seen 3 Dragon Tattoo movies, and they're all good.
The Fincher one. I mean, I like Fincher a lot, but the David Fincher one. Back me up on this.
Yeah.
In an upcoming episode of Easy Update,
Yeah.
for reasons that I won't mention right now, I said that Resident Evil 2 remake will be cozy.
Yeah, well.
Thank you.
So cozy.
They all thought I was insane.
No
They're
way.
like, what? That's not the. They were like, it's not cozy or good vibes at all. And I was
Oh,
like, what? It's gonna be so
the
like.
warm bosom of the Raccoon Police Department. Let me just
See,
cozy up on in there.
you and I,
Yeah.
we rest our heads on the welcoming bosom of terror.
Yeah. Like a haunted mansion is cozy.
Disney's Haunted Mansion, especially.
The ultimate.
Did I ever tell you the
Peak
time?
coziness.
Did I ever tell you the time my dad and I were on it together at Disney World and it broke down and we were stuck in the room,
So
the
jealous.
diner, the dining room
Yeah.
scene for like maybe 35 minutes, and I was thrilled.
Yeah.
It was.
Fred's gonna break down. That's the one.
Oh baby, it was so good. Also, all the people in there are in groups of 6.
Whoa.
So it's like 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6.
That's freaky.
Except for the duel, there too, and like
Yeah.
the people that are like dancing, they're in groups of. They're in like 3 groups of 3.
Yeah.
But anyway,
That's freaky.
good stuff. Anyways, yeah. Oh, Mike Hook was asking about the upcoming one, but yeah, Mike Hook brings up that unlike a conventional detective, Lisbeth Salander dishes out some justice too
Yeah, she does.
of her own.
Don't mess with her.
Sort of
Don't
very
take her
much
stuff.
Jessica Jones vibes, actually.
Yes.
Kinda.
Jessica Jones and Veronica Mars.
Yeah.
2 of my
We're gonna
all-time favorites.
talk about Veronica in a minute. I love Veronica Mars.
Yes.
Okay. Cesar Villa says, as for a favorite detective film, the 80s Eddie Murphy classic Beverly Hills Cop.
Yes.
The antithesis of noir, a very bright, as in well-lit, lots of light, even at night, comedy where this low-life ex-con gets killed right in front of the door of his childhood buddy and partner in crime who turned his life around and became a cop, trying to figure out who and why killed his dear friend.
Dude.
Beverly Hills Cop.
All of them are good.
Yeah. I think I've seen 2 more. That's the only one I remember.
God,
Classic
so
theme.
ridiculously good. I want to watch all those right now.
Let's do it. Episode canceled. Let's go. Matt Jura says a family favorite. Oh, I love this. This is good vibes. A family favorite movie that we watched hundreds of times growing up was Fletch, a 1985 detective movie with Chevy Chase. Please see this movie if you haven't. It's hilarious. About 30% of the things my family says at gatherings are Fletch references. The remaining 70% come from Arrested Development, Major Payne, and Princess Bride. My family likewise constantly quotes Princess Bride.
Nice.
Like all the time. All the time. Ken Reels says, it's time for another out there pick from me, Automata, which I've seen the cover of and wanted to watch but haven't yet. So
sounds familiar.
Yeah, see if this jogs your memory. The elevator pitch is that Antonio Banderas is a robotic insurance investigator who stumbles on a few robots gaining sentience. Visually, it's a stunning film. As a detective film, I equate it to the original Blade Runner. Not really a lot of detective stuff happening in the second half, but it's worth a watch.
Cool.
Sounds cool.
I've been waiting to say this. We haven't come across it yet. One of my favorites, Ian. One of your favorites. I know it. The Fugitive.
Oh, baby.
Dude, The Fugitive.
Oh, baby.
If
Also,
there were ever a movie that holds up,
oh, God.
The Fugitive is a timeless classic.
Fugitive is very, very good.
God. The detective that is just trying to solve the case, and he's got doubts. He's got hunches.
Instead of a quote challenge this time, I asked for favorite detective one-liners and zingers.
The Fugitive.
And people gave some pretty good ones, so I'm going to quiz you.
Okay.
Some of them are hard. I don't know,
I bet.
like half of them. But the best one from The Fugitive.
Yeah.
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care.
So good.
Apparently, legendarily, that's an ad lib on the
remember
part
you
of
told
Tommy
me
Lee
that.
Jones. Yeah,
That's so
he
cool.
just said, "I don't care."
Perfect line.
Also, yeah. Oh God, I want to watch The Fugitive right
really
now.
wanna
Damn,
watch it. It's so
I love The Fugitive.
good.
Megan Linhart says Felidae is a German R-rated animated film about a wisecracking house cat named Francis who decides to find who is responsible for the grisly murders of other cats in his neighborhood he moves to by teaming up with a mangled, hot-headed cat named Bluebeard. This movie is gory, has some strong language, sexual content, and consists of mature and realistic themes like animal experimentation, animal abuse, cults, and religion. The setting is very realistic. The noir feel is just oozing out of this movie, from the dimly lit rooms and hallways to the smooth soundtrack. The main cat, Francis, is a smart, serious, determined, overall good-natured, and strong detective to root for.
Nice.
Felidae.
Sounds weird.
Hardcore R-rated cat detective. Kyle Armstrong says, my favorite film of 2017 is Blade Runner 2049, hands down. Had such an amazing story, world, and characters. I completely agree. The
Gotta watch it again.
I saw it like 3 times in theaters. Everything about that movie I just loved. The
perfection.
I really the woman who does the memory artist, her performance is so good.
Yeah.
Alan Canlick says Bruce Willis' segment in Sin City is such a fun noir adaptation of the source material.
Good call.
It's violent and dirty, leans into the genre so hard, the colorful style that comes out the other end of his monochrome adventure makes it an instant classic.
Great call.
Yeah.
Sin City 1.
Very true. Sin City 1 was good.
Legit.
Sin City 2, not as
Not
good.
good.
I got bored and stopped watching.
Oh, yeah, not good.
Ms. Razy says, while I love detective films, Memento and Seven were brilliant, 2 of my all-time favorites in the genre are actually TV shows, Veronica Mars and Psych. They also really enjoyed the Cumberbatch-Freeman version of Sherlock. All of them feature different elements that they enjoy, including extraordinary levels of snark. And both shows take you on a journey watching the personal development of the detective as the case is being investigated. Ultimately, I think that the thing that really appeals to me, besides the mystery element, is seeing the interactions and teamworks between the detective and their partners.
Mm-hmm.
The partners serve as a kind of conscience for the detectives, who tend to take immense and somewhat fatal risks. Oftentimes, this annoys or causes backlash for the partner, yet they always seem to stick around. It's kind of beautiful to watch.
Broadchurch.
Oh,
God.
dude, I watched the pilot of Broadchurch, and I was just like, oh my God, this is so intense.
But I'm glad they brought that up, just about, the dynamic between the detectives.
Yeah.
And
Veronica Mars, legendary
yeah,
team-ups.
of course. And yeah, that's just one of my favorite things to watch, is these detectives thrown in these grisly, disturbing situations trying to crack these cases, people dead and murdered and mutilated, and then they have to, like, in Broadchurch, he's got a daughter. He's like trying to look after his daughter and live a life outside of this all-consuming work, you know?
I love the moment in the pilot of Broadchurch when David Tennant is approaching the body of the little boy on the beach. And, like, I don't know the full backstory because I didn't watch the rest, but, like, he's out there because he, like, botched a case or something. I don't know, whatever. But he just says to himself as he's walking up to the body, he's just like, oh, God, don't do this to me. Yeah. It's just like, the way he says it is just like, whoa, dude. Ackred says, just want to give a shout out to Narc. Ray Liotta. Have you seen Narc?
No.
I saw it in theaters, if I recall. I
director did
remember
some
liking it. Oh, yeah? Ray Liotta really sells it with his intensity in the first 5-minute the first 5 minutes dive head first with one of the most intense opening scenes I can remember.
Narc.
Project DAD says, I do say I also like Shutter Island as a detective story. Did not see it coming. Shutter Island's a very interesting film.
Only saw it once.
Yeah. It's a movie that I think takes giving the film the benefit of the doubt. I think I've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Takes some risks filmically.
Yeah.
Because the first half they're making some like glaring filmmaking mistakes.
I know. I gotta
but I
watch
think
it
they're making them
again.
intentionally to cue you.
Did you only see it once?
To something not being right. Yeah.
So I wonder if it's one of those things where if you watch it a second time, it's just like infinitely better.
Oh yeah, because you know it's what.
Yeah.
Greg the Dark Knight Kettering says, the appeal of detective stories for me is you get main characters that are smart or clever, and you get a fun mystery that you follow along with the protagonist. I think this plays a part into why comic book space Batman is my favorite character.
Hell yeah.
Also, you get a lot of variety in the style of the detective. One of the most unique ones for me, what I loved watching as a kid, was Columbo. You're not the only one who loves Columbo. We'll hear more about Columbo. Going from scene to scene, Columbo would act like a bumbling fool, meanwhile roping the criminals around his finger when they never even realized it. That always was entertaining. I do like a good, like, comedic bumbling detective.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's intentional or not.
Roger Rabbit, dude.
Roger Rabbit.
Top tier.
Michelle Jackson brings up Law and Order and Pushing Daisies. Do you ever see Pushing Daisies?
Never saw Pushing Daisies.
I wonder if you would like it. I liked it.
Law and
It was
Order.
cute. Did you ever watch Better Off Ted?
No.
Do you watch
Is
The
that a
Good
show?
Place?
Just finished season 2 today. An hour ago.
Today?
An hour ago.
Nice.
Was waiting a year for season 2 to be on Netflix.
Oh, and it's finally on Netflix?
Finally, like 5 days ago, they added it.
What'd you think?
Binged all of season
Without
2.
saying anything.
Phenomenal.
Don't
Didn't
spoil
see
anything.
any of it coming.
Yeah, it's
You
so
think
good.
it's going
so
one
good.
way so many times?
Yeah. The first episode I saw was one of the first episodes of season 2 that's all about the twist.
Yeah.
So I saw that before seeing any of the rest of it. So I was like so spoiled on the whole series. But
Season
it was great.
3 is in like a week and a half.
Oh!
It starts.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah. Perfect timing.
There's a lot of good stuff coming up next month that I'm excited for.
Yeah.
Andreas Kother says, I think I said that right, says, I am a huge fan of classic Agatha Christie detective archetype like Poirot and Miss Marple. So am I. Listen to all those books on actual audio cassettes when I was a kid. We would
That's cool.
listen to those in the car. You're presented with a murder mystery and have a variety of suspects who all have motive and who you find those out along with the detective. Check their abilities and guess yourself accordingly. Then, in the end, everybody is assembled and the detective goes through his theories and explains why most of the suspects are innocent, and he reveals who committed the crime and why. Those movies usually are one-time viewing affairs because they lose a lot if you know the criminal, but I find them really engaging. When I was younger, those kinds of stories usually had me on the edge of my seat. Me too. Stephen Beaumont loves Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which I also really like. Also, the movie Clue. sort of not really a detective movie.
You love Clue.
I love the movie Clue. Oh god, it's so good. Do you like Clue? Did you see the VHS version that has all the endings?
Yeah.
I think that's badass that they put out different endings to different
It's
theaters.
really cool.
Yeah,
I had the VHS.
All right.
If I still have that. I wonder if that's worth anything.
A VHS tape of Clue.
Yeah. Seems like a
let's
collector's item.
Let's guess how much it would be worth and then look it up.
Probably like $55.
I'm gonna guess like $1.75.
Okay.
How do I look this up right now?
Clue VHS.
Clue VHS.
Yep, and then just shopping.
Oh, there's a VHS game of Clue?
I think I had that one, maybe.
This is all the mystery game. It's all coming up mystery game.
Just go to the shopping tab.
Oh, here we go. eBay.
All right, how much?
$8.99
Damn it.
plus shipping.
All right. Not bad.
Congo is in the recommended. Congo, dude.
Graphic. Is Congo rated R?
I think so.
Should be.
Congo, when I was a kid, I remember... Congo's a bad movie, but
Terrible,
I remember...
but awesome.
It's fantastic. I loved the tents that they had. Yeah. They just throw them up and they pop up, and then they had a little air conditioner that they hooked on.
It's cozy.
As a kid, I was like,
That's cool.
Okay, but now we've talked about favorite detective films.
Yeah.
But now we're going to talk about favorite detective.
Okay.
And I know yours is Batman.
It's got to be Batman. Does it count, though?
Stephen Beaumont thinks it does. They say Batman.
Yeah,
Scott Snyder and Jock's Detective Comics run was amazing for showing Batman as the master sleuth he is, hoping for a real detective Batman film in the future. Me too. Also, Benedict Cumberbatch's turn as Sherlock is still so phenomenal to watch. The Reichenbach Fall is an amazing episode. True. Caesar Villa says their favorite detective is Veronica Mars. Started the show, but she's got a movie too, so that counts. It's true.
Yeah. And they're doing another one, I guess.
They're doing
another show. Yeah, it's coming back again.
Wait, another show or another
another
movie?
show, apparently.
Yo.
Apparently.
That's great.
Yeah.
Veronica Mars.
Love Veronica.
So intense.
Love it. Logan Eccles.
Logan Eccles. What a disaster piece.
What a name.
Logan Eccles.
When Logan Eccles calls Veronica in the cafeteria and she denies his phone call, and he just like gets me every time. Every time.
Tragic figure, Logan Eccles. Tragic figure. Tokyo Slim. Hi, there you are. Just thinking about this, and I feel like many times the best detective movies don't have good detectives. My favorite detectives are not incompetent, but often out of their depth, or being used as pawns by someone else who's orchestrating the plot from the shadows. Sherlock Holmes and the like are great detectives, but I just kind of prefer movies about the Jeffrey Lebowskis of the world. I fully agree.
Yeah, you know what? Who's Jeffrey Lebowski?
From The Big Lebowski. The dude.
Of course. I just know him as the dude.
Yeah. I mean, he's the dude.
How many times do they
duder,
call him
if you're not into
Jeffrey
the whole brevity
Lebowski?
thing. A few.
Okay. I haven't seen it in so
I think
long.
Maud calls him Jeffrey.
Got it.
Typically.
All right.
El Duderino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
El Duderino.
If you're not into the whole... that movie I quote constantly.
What about Dirty Cops, Ian?
That's coming up. You want to talk about it right now?
I like Dirty Cops.
How about Bad Lieutenant?
Dirty Cop.
The dirtiest...
Dude.
The dirtiest cop.
Are we talking Nick Cage or Harvey Keitel?
Both. Would you kindly brought up the original, but I've seen both, and my God.
Yeah.
So dirty.
Yeah. Is there a scene where he's just like doing lines of coke?
Oh, multiple scenes. Stealing drugs from someone and then forcing sexual favors to not arrest them. It's just like, that is an upsetting film.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Tailor-made for Nick Cage.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect role.
You've seen the original, right? The Harvey Keitel?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Always loved the cover at Blockbuster Video.
Mm-hmm.
Just like pointing a magnum.
Yeah.
Always caught my gaze.
Yeah. That's a lost art, I feel like. Or an art that we're going to lose. They're all just thumbnails now, but a good VHS box cover.
Totally.
DVDs.
Keitel, dude. Reservoir Dogs as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that one.
Yeah. I don't particularly care for it that much, Luke Cage, but There's a dirty cop on there, and I think it's done really well. I love dirty cops that plant evidence.
Yeah.
It's complicated, because they're planting evidence, one, to like put someone away because they know they're guilty, and it's, they don't trust the system to bring them down.
Yeah.
So they got to take matters into their own hands.
Training Day. That's a dirty cop movie, yeah.
Yes.
It's been a while since I've seen it, so I don't remember all the hot deets, but
so he's pretty sketch in it. It's,
Denzel's sketch, right?
sketch.
And then
it's purely for personal gain.
Yeah. And Ethan Hawke? Who's the other
Hawke.
guy? Yeah.
It's Ethan Hawke's Training Day.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good.
Man, I gotta pick Training Day up again. It's been a long
Training
time.
Day's phenomenal. It holds up. I rewatched it like a year ago. It's still good.
Yeah. What's the quote he says? Like, King Kong ain't got nothing on me. Yeah. It's like, whoa.
It's hard to root for dirty cops that are in it for like pure self gain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
the dirty cop that does it to put people away always fascinates me.
it's an interesting moral dilemma, right?
Yeah, because it's like, you're a cop, you're fighting this, you're like, it'd be like a doctor, like,
Right.
they bring it up in Good Place, a doctor like killing someone to save others,
Yeah.
like defying their Hippocratic oath. So it fascinates me whenever a cop does something dirty for the greater good.
Yeah. Tokyo Slim, I think, says something relevant to this. He says, a lot of times I feel like the gritty detectives have to have cynicism, misanthropy, or world weariness to them that can be explained by having to operate within or being a product or previous participant in a system of corruption or negligence. It also works to show how determined or diligent our hero is despite his surroundings. Like the classic line at the end of Chinatown, "Forget it, Jake, it's Chinatown," is an iconic line because it's emblematic of the defeatism and capitulation of moral impotence that everyone else in the system has accepted the routine of this world. Sort of like Ed Tom in No Country for Old Men as well, who's just like, all right, I'll be a part of this world, but then at the end, like, scrubs out kind of. But, like, do you think that's part of it with these dirty cops where they're planning evidence to make the sale because they know the system doesn't work? Mm-hmm. The system has failed them, so they're so cynical they don't believe in the system that they're meant to uphold.
Yep.
It's very intense.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's like, going back to Gotham, dude, Jim Gordon. It's like just this pure soul that gets chewed up and spit out by a corrupt system, because it's like it's like a broad question, right? The cops are losing faith. Why are these dirty cops doing this? It's like, well, maybe the judges are sketch,
right?
Maybe the DA is sketch,
right?
So,
yeah, I mean, I think Michelle Jackson or someone brings this up later too, but yeah, the ancillary players are a big part of it. The detectives, the DAs, the lawyers, and like you see oftentimes a lot of, especially police detectives, but private eyes too. I love a good private eye that used to be a cop and was like drummed out.
Yeah.
That's always a good motif, because then they know the police and they're like on good terms, but not usually with the cops. But yeah, like Dark Knight does that too, right? Harvey Dent is trying to do, Harvey Dent in general, it like starts off trying to do the right thing, and then the system, just fails.
Joker.
I'm sad about Heath Ledger.
I know. Always. Did you watch Jessica Jones?
Yeah, season 1, not season 2.
Cool.
I really like David Tennant, mostly because of my love of Doctor Who. Very excited for Doctor Who coming back in October with the first ever female doctor. Yeah. So thrilled, so bummed that I screwed up taking the picture that I could have got at Comic-Con with her. I pushed the button on my phone. It didn't work. I don't know. Whatever. So Michelle Jackson brings up that dirty cops are sometimes used as part of a redemption story or a way to humanize the darker sides of police work. I want to ask you a question, actually. Are there police stories that are the opposite of that? Detective stories where they sort of do a Breaking Bad. Like you mentioned, Jim Gordon falls from grace, where he starts good and goes bad, but he's still trying to do the right thing. Mm-hmm. Are there ever detective stories where, I mean, I can't remember how Bad Lieutenant ends. I think he's just bad throughout. But are there stories where, sort of like a Breaking Bad kind of vibe, where they go dark because they like it. They start good and then get a taste and then just keep going down because they like it.
Does Point Break count?
Ooh.
Because he's conflicted.
He's conflicted.
He's
conflicted, dude. He's very conflicted, yes.
He likes it.
He likes
dude.
it. He likes it.
Loves it.
Well, I think also
the rush.
There are a lot of, now that you mentioned that one, there are a lot of other like undercover stories like The Departed and stuff where, yeah, you're never sure. You're like, oh, you're getting a taste of this and you're not hating it.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, it's so depressing.
The Departed?
Just that idea.
Yeah.
Just like that fall from grace.
The Departed depresses me.
Yeah. Donnie Brasco, is he a cop? Yeah, he's an undercover cop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Carlito's Way, is he an undercover cop? I watched all these movies as like a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
And I vaguely remember all of those.
Yeah.
Like that. I was like weirdly into that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Like watching Goodfellas and like gangster and cop films all the time.
You know what we haven't brought up? Dirty Harry.
Oh, yeah. I've never seen that one, actually.
Icon.
Yeah.
Dude, Dirty Harry. Oh, one of them. Maybe it's like Magnum Force. There's one where like the cop is disguised, or is he? Let me know, comments. I forget if he's disguising himself as a cop or if he actually is, but he's like one of the villains is like a motorcycle cop and just like pulls people over and takes them out.
Whoa.
It's out of control.
Jeez.
It's up to Dirty Harry.
Yeah. That just made me think that, remember that Mad Max is a cop? Used to be a cop.
That's right. I always forget that.
Yeah. One of the last road warriors.
Dirty Harry's rad. You know, because he's a good cop. He's an honest cop, but he'll put you down.
Yeah.
You know? He's looking for a reason. Give me a reason.
Give me a reason.
It's so good.
What about the existentially defeated cop? Like, Would You Kindly brings up Rust Cole from season 1 of True Dicks. Remember Rust Cole? Remember when True Dicks was good?
Oh yeah, that was a moment.
Speaking of
season 1 True Dicks,
and I would even argue that True Dicks season 1 kind of like falters toward the end, but like True Dicks season 2, one of the worst things I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's bad. Like visceral,
defend it.
Horrible trash.
Defend it.
Yeah, please. I would love to hear.
Yeah, defend it.
Because I was aghast. I watched the entirety of it.
Yeah.
I think it was just rushed. I don't know.
It was.
Season 3, though, the trailer looks
good.
Cool. I'm in.
I like Taylor Kitsch in season 2 of True Dicks.
Yeah.
He made it tolerable for me.
Yeah, there were decent moments in season 2. What's her name? Oh my god. Whatever. The main lady detective, she was cool, but
why can I not?
We can't remember anything today.
Right now, dude.
I think you've got a headache, and then I'm like
The Notebook,
just like weird about
It's Ryan Gosling and oh my god,
I'm googling it. The audience is just like, what the hell is happening?
I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I don't forget names.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding?
Rachel McAdams.
God.
There we go. Yeah, I usually count on you for this stuff because I don't exist as part of this world, you know.
Rachel McAdams.
Rachel McAdams.
I love Rachel McAdams. Sorry, Rachel.
Back in the good
Rachel.
Back in the good detectives camp, though. That's the ticket. Brings up Columbo again.
Jolly.
Columbo sounds hilarious.
Before my time. Yeah.
Yeah. Before I definitely want to check out Columbo though.
Mm-hmm.
But it just sounds very funny. Let's talk about common cinematic tools that detective movies employ. We've talked about a few already. Chinatown with the over-the-shoulder stuff, that kind of vibe. A lot of like POVs and reaction shots. I think like that's the name of the podcast.
A lot of POVs of the murderer, just like watching the detective from the shadows.
Yeah. A lot of POVs through a camera too.
Yeah.
You see a lot of like there goes that. A lot of like I love it. I love those shots in movies where it's just like you get the
Gotcha.
Veronica Mars does that a lot.
That's why I love Jessica Jones so much, because it gives me Veronica Mars vibes.
It really did.
Big time.
It's like serious, sad Veronica Mars, because Veronica Mars gets dark
Very.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Woof.
Yeah.
But other times, it's not too bad. Would You Kindly listed a few other motifs that are common of detective films. We've got
Someone is an alcoholic.
someone's an alcoholic. The Office is an important space. Shadows, night plus rain, wet grounds. Wetty?
Wetty grounds.
Wetty grounds.
No.
Light and reflections, cigarettes, alcohol, a shitty car, smoking women, bathroom mirrors, self-reflections, and bar fights.
Dude, nailed it.
Tokyo Slim brings up two of my ultimate favorite kind of motifs in detective films that I know you're going to love.
Okay.
They titled them Introduced to the Killer.
Yep.
Often the person behind it all is someone you know, or the movie makes you think that you can trust them. The best uses of this are when the filmmakers know that you're expecting this and it's a red herring.
Yes.
Double blind, triple blind.
So great.
Searching, dude.
I need to see
Twists.
I need to see it.
Fake crime and a real crime. The mystery being solved isn't straightforward. The detective starts out investigating a kidnapping, missing person, or affair, but uncovers that it's actually a drug cartel, serial killer, or extortion plot. Chinatown is a huge example of that. Yeah. Like, stealing the water. Like, what a bonkers, like, high-scale detective story that is. Yeah, he starts off investigating a missing person, like a murder, potentially, and discovers that, like, L.A. is stealing water. It's like buying up land to steal water. I mean, it's basically Who Framed Roger Rabbit is like a very similar. And
trying to build the big.
Yeah. And Rango is like almost like directly just Chinatown. Yeah. We talked about Dirty Cops. We're gonna do Zingers in a minute.
We kind of skipped over The Departed, one of my
Let's go for it.
Time favorites. When a detective's undercover and only like one person knows.
Right.
Scares the living hell out of me every single time. I'm like, what if that person goes down? They're not going to know. How's he going to get out of this? Like, what's going to happen? You know, I love those stakes and that tension.
What makes it even more intense, is if one person knows it, but also if they're on the knock list. Non-official cover.
Yep.
Which means that the government, the police station, whoever will disavow any knowledge of your interactions.
It's too high stakes. You
know what show has a person who's on a non-official cover?
Patriot. I need to watch it.
Watch Patriot.
I'm going to finish Patriot
on Amazon.
I'm going to finish Patriot by the end of the year.
Start Patriot tonight. I guarantee it. Huber, if you don't like Patriot, straight up, you can punch me in the face.
Okay. I guarantee I'll like it.
You can punch me in the face. Okay.
Guarantee I'll like it.
I want to talk about the reversed, because you mentioned before, detective films have oftentimes one of the main tropes is a femme fatale.
Mm-hmm.
But oftentimes we are blessed with a female detective.
Yes.
We've talked about Veronica Mars, Jessica Jones.
Best in the biz.
I would also want to bring up Fargo.
Yeah.
Again, one of my Margie, one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Also, a movie just like the movie Psycho, where I believe it's 30 minutes before the protagonist is introduced. 30 minutes into the film, the protagonist in both Psycho and Fargo. That's right. You don't see her for a very long time. Yeah.
Psycho's pretty intense.
Psycho is so good.
It's really intense.
Also, holy shit! Did I not mention Rear Window? I did, right?
You did.
Okay.
One of the all-time.
I would have like kicked myself
Jimmy
out of this
Stewart.
seat. Jimmy Stewart, dude. Rear Window is one of my favorite movies.
Me too. Absolutely.
I love Rear Window.
100%.
Also, that's a great example of fish out of water, out of your element, dealing with situations way beyond your control, and the amateur detective.
Yeah.
Like you're the dudes, Jeffrey Lebowski, you know. Love a good amateur detective.
Yeah.
Anyway, this episode's weird.
It's fun.
It's fun. I'm having a blast. But we're just like,
they're having fun.
You're all headached up. I'm just out of my mind anyway.
They're having a blast.
Tokyo
you having a blast
Slam.
out there?
Are you having a blast?
We'll
have to wait for the comments to see.
I didn't kill my wife.
I don't care. Tokyo Slim, talking about female detectives, femme fatale detectives. Yeah. Tokyo Slim liked Angelina Jolie in Taking Lives, which I believe
is
that one of the Spider trilogy or whatever, the Bone Collector. Along
I think-
Came a Spider.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
like part of that
Mhm.
mythos, right?
I think so.
I think maybe I'm crazy, but
I
yeah,
think so.
I
Along Came
haven't
a
seen
Spider.
Taking
That was a
Lives.
good one.
Yeah, that was a good one. Clarice Starling, of course. Silence of the Lambs.
Iconic.
God tier. God tier.
God tier.
It's a criminal that we haven't brought her up already.
She entered my brain like 10 minutes ago and then fell out of there.
All right, well then we get it points for that.
I was thinking about her.
Murder She Wrote, not a
Clarice.
movie but a classic. Although that town seems like a horrible place to live. Murder She Wrote, dude.
My
Angela
grandma liked-
Lansbury.
My grandma loved it.
Oh yeah, everybody's grandma loved it. Alan Canlick said Winter's Bone, which is so good, and I can't believe I forgot to put it in my initial list.
I don't even remember. I don't remember the plot. I remember Jennifer Lawrence like feeding someone.
Yeah, she's looking for her daddy,
Yeah, I
who's
forget.
gone missing. It's in meth country.
Hmm.
Just trying to figure it out. It's that's an interesting movie because the first time I saw it, I really loved it. Second time I saw it, I still liked it, but she's much more of a reactive protagonist than I remembered the first time seeing it through. Normally, what I mean by that is, normally you want your protagonist and the characters to drive the story partially.
Mhm.
In Winter's Bone, she's mostly reacting to everything happening. People are taking her places. She's doing that, but I mean, obviously she does a lot of stuff on her own recognizance. She goes and she pries into it, and that's what starts the kind of dominoes to fall. But yeah, I don't know. She was just a little more reactive than I would normally like on a second viewing. But I mean, it's still a phenomenal movie.
Nice.
And it was her breakout role, if I'm correct. Like, she's so good in that. Michelle Jackson, she's a lieutenant, not a detective, and she's not really a femme fatale, but I think one of the best characters in a crime history is Anita Van Buren from Law & Order. She faces a lot of discrimination as a woman of color in the NYPD, but her intelligence and leadership always shone through. She was one of few characters you could always trust, was looking out for justice without any political or personal ulterior motives.
Type.
Nice. I haven't seen Law & Order, so I can't really...
Ever?
I mean, I've seen,
I've seen way more SVU.
Sure.
A lot of SVU.
I mean, I think you can't, walk through a building with a TV in it without having seen some Law & Order. But one of my favorite things about movies in general, especially detective movies, is when they're sort of, like I said at the beginning of this, they're interactive. They're kind of like a puzzle in and of themselves. And detective movies are, by their very nature, as I said, very much like this.
Yep.
And I was wondering what movies are really like that. The ones that spring to mind that reward you for paying attention to details, and you can piece the puzzle together yourself. Searching is phenomenal for this. The Game, David Fincher.
Game.
I really like that. It's sort of a detective thing. He's reacting to a lot of stuff too. But Would You Kindly brought up Everything by David Lynch. Once you puzzle together Mulholland Drive, it reads like an open book. Silencio. Yeah, I don't know, it's just a fun little thought that I had. In college, I wanted to write a film with a buddy of mine. And the idea was going to be, maybe someday I'll still do this, but the idea was going to be that you make a movie that is kind of like basically an ARG, like an alternate reality game, where the audience knows going in that the movie won't tell them the answer. Yeah. It's like a murder mystery or whatever, but they know coming in because part of the ad campaign was, you're the detective, whatever. But the movie within it contains all the clues that you need to solve it. Probably you'd have to watch it on subsequent viewings, or this would be out on Netflix or whatever. Yeah. But there would be all kinds of things to decipher, and I would want to do crazy layers of stuff you could decipher, play this song backwards and put it into a spectrogram and it gives you an image, or crazy stuff too. But I wonder if a movie's ever done that, like a theatrically released movie, where it's if you pay attention and put all the clues together, even though the movie doesn't tell you who the killer is, you can figure. Zodiac would be great for that if there were enough clues that the movie tells you who they think it is. Yeah. And I think it kind of does, but it'd be interesting, an interesting exercise. I don't know.
Have James Cameron do it.
Yeah. A few other cleanup topics that I asked the patrons. What else would you like us to discuss? Tokyo Slim mentioned unreliable narrators, which is something that happens in detective stories. I love unreliable narrators. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Such a good
Sometimes
motif.
it annoys me.
Really? I like it when...
You lied to me.
Yeah. Perfect Blue is a good example though because it's a unreliable narrator because she's kind of like going nuts halfway through it, so she doesn't know if what she's seeing is true.
That's better, yeah.
Yeah.
Then they're
Shutter
just
Island
outright lying to the audience.
Yeah, Shutter Island has good unreliable narrator kind of stuff in it. To some extent, Inception has and it's kind of a detective sort of. It's like a heist more.
Yeah.
Reverse heist, which we talked about last month.
What we didn't talk about was John McClane.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't really detect. He kind of does, I guess. He's taking the names of the people. He figures out they're trying to rob it. He's really just shooting first and asking questions later.
Well, I don't know, because he's in a situation.
Yeah.
He's in a jackpot, as they say in No Country for Old Men. But
I guess in Die Hard with a Vengeance.
I was just gonna say, and with a Vengeance, you see him piecing it together a lot more, and he like figures it out.
Yeah.
He has the grace of being trapped in the situation in the first one, so he kind of has to. Mm-hmm. But he does put a lot of stuff together. He figures it out, the truth.
The water jugs.
The water jugs in Vengeance, man. That puzzle. That's one of those riddles. I like riddles, but that's one of the riddles that I know the answer to and have done multiple times in various games or whatever and always forget.
Yeah.
I can never remember what you're supposed to do. Yeah. You like fill one of them all the way and then you know that you have, I don't know, are there 3 jugs? Whatever.
It's already hurting my brain.
It's already too much. Yeah, you've got a headache. I mentioned Michelle Jackson earlier, mentioned all the ancillary people. Carl Williams. We kind of talked about this too. Films where the bad guy wins, where the detective doesn't prevail. I mean, I think a lot of them are sort of like that, like Chinatown, obviously.
Usual Suspects. Talking about problematic movies.
The movie's not problematic, is it?
The people involved.
Yeah.
A lot of baggage now with Usual Suspects.
Yeah. I can think of one for sure. Oh, and then, the other guy. Oh, whatever.
There's like 3 people in there.
Really? Ugh. As long as Keanu Reeves doesn't go bad, everything will be fine.
Keanu Reeves, don't hurt me.
Keanu Reeves, stay beautiful.
Stay
and
pure.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
If we just need... they're like the thread that's holding this reality together vis-a-vis, like, men.
Keanu Reeves. If I see him ever, no questions.
Kiss on the lips.
No questions, just a hug.
Yeah.
Immediate hug.
And he'll be like, "Buh." He'd probably, I don't know.
If you asked him for a hug, he'd probably give it up.
If you asked him. You got to ask.
Keanu, huge fan. I would love a hug.
Yeah.
Can I get a hug?
Like, you seem like a very wonderful, healing person just to be around. Tragic life. He's had, like, hardships, man, apparently. Yeah. Okay. We're at the end of the road here. Normally what we do at the end of the line is the quote challenge.
Yeah.
And if you think of some, hit me up.
I already used it.
Yeah.
I didn't kill my wife.
Yeah. Yeah. I love
the
them.
Best quote.
But we have some submissions here for the zingers.
Okay.
I've got a few. I think some of these are really hard. Tokyo Slim says, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Big Lebowski.
Yeah. The dude, yep. Would You Kindly says, I love Hitman. No matter what you do to him, you don't feel bad.
The Professional.
No.
Law and Order.
No.
I give up.
It's Marv from Sin City.
That's a good one, dude. I love Marv.
This one neither of us are going to get, but someone in the audience might. Just one more thing. This is from That's the Ticket. That's Columbo, apparently. Columbo says that. Yeah, never would have gotten that. I don't know, Columbo. Okay.
Oh, is that when he's about to, like, get you?
Yeah. He's probably just
one
like...
more thing.
Yeah. He's probably
Gotcha.
He probably, like, makes you think that the bad guy got away with it, and then he's like, oh, just one more thing.
Yeah. Columbo.
I love it. It's such a good, like, hook, line, and sinker. Okay. So we've got 2 from the same character from the same thing.
Okay.
This is submitted by Michelle Jackson. What precinct are you from? Sesame Street? I don't know how this character talks, but... and then another quote from the same person. Hope his parents weren't getting him any hats for Christmas. This is in response to seeing the decapitated body of a teenage boy. Jesus.
Good Lord. I was going to say Roger Rabbit, but I guess not. I don't know.
is apparently Lenny Briscoe from Law and Order.
Jeez.
Michelle also submitted 2 other ones from another character that you said you didn't see this show. But there's a detective in this show. And I'll say him. I won't spoil it. But I could pay my bills with blind kids' smiles, but their money is a lot easier. And then another one that he says is, the truth ain't like puppies. A bunch of them running around. You pick your favorite. One truth, and it has come a knocking. These are both from Emerson Codd, who's the detective in Pushing Daisies.
Nice. Okay.
Pushing Daisies is interesting. I wonder if you'd like it. I believe it's by the Good Place person.
Is
I
it?
think.
Is it
It's
6 feet
somebody.
under people?
Huh?
6 feet under people or no?
6 Feet Under is very depressing.
It's different?
I think they're different.
Oh, okay.
The 6 Feet Under guy went on to make True Blood,
True Blood, that's right.
I think.
Who did Pushing Daisies? Someone famous.
I don't know, man. We've Googled too much during
Yeah,
this
we Googled
episode.
Too much.
We've hit our Google quota.
Yeah.
Anyway, that has been this month's episode of Reaction Shots.
What about I think of one of my favorite game series, Yakuza, and it's there's this cop on there,
Yeah.
and he's got to team up with the Yakuza.
Whoa.
When cops team up with,
Yeah.
their
To take down a
targets.
greater evil.
I love that.
Yeah.
Love that stuff.
I'm trying to think of movie examples, but I can't.
In the beginning, it's Batman.
Yeah.
Gordon and Batman,
Yeah.
Everyone thinks Batman's sketch.
Yeah.
I like it.
Huber,
Mm-hmm.
we are approaching quite possibly one of the better months of the year by
The
way
best
of
month.
holidays.
The best month.
And I wanted to ask you,
Yeah.
obviously we're going to do something with horror
Yeah.
for next month's episode. We've kind of done just a general horror episode before. What do you want to talk about next month?
Just
our episode.
demand we talk about the new Halloween.
Oh,
It
sure.
comes out October 19th.
Sure.
So I don't know when
I'll be out of town.
October will go up,
Yeah.
but we need to discuss
Ooh, it'll be actually
Halloween. Most anticipated film. Cannot wait.
Let me see.
Can
What day?
not wait.
This will go up. Oh, it'll go up on the 12th next month. So we'll shoot it on the 10th. Yeah. So we'll just have to do. You'll have to do a spoiler mode or something on Halloween.
We'll talk about the original.
Okay. But what else?
To prepare.
So as a theme, what should we do? What do you think?
I mean, it's Halloween month, dude. We should do slashers.
Slashers. Okay.
Halloween.
Okay.
I got all my marbles on this one, dude.
Yeah.
Like this.
You'll drive the show next time.
I'm ready.
Your host.
Dude, I'm ready for Halloween to be a classic.
The new one.
The new one.
Yeah.
I'm ready. My expectations are sky high.
Yeah.
Don't
Good.
let me down.
Yeah.
I really hope.
All right. So next month we're going to talk about slasher films with your host
Yeah.
Michael Huber.
It's going to be epic.
It's going to be
We're
epic.
talking about kill counts.
Kill counts.
Talking about gallons of blood. Oh, yeah.
I want you to actually have like stats on gallons of blood used in
Okay.
a movie.
Yeah.
I think Sam Raimi has talked about that before,
There's a...
or like they live or whatever.
Anytime people compare who's like the best killer, the biggest killer, like Jason versus Freddy versus Leatherface and stuff, kill counts are brought into the
Oh, yeah.
equation.
Kill count. Their whole videos,
Jason Voorhees' kill count is unmatched. Unrivaled.
is he the highest
Yes.
of the classic Beast
yeah.
men?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why is he killing so many people?
It's
Mommy
disturbing.
issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mommy issues. Doesn't like lakes.
Yep.
All right. That'll be fun. Join us next month on the 12th. It's always the second Friday of every month this show goes up. And we will talk about getting slashed.
Halloween is the one.
Yeah.
Watch that one.
Halloween
The
original.
Yep.
Yeah.
To prepare for the new one.
Yeah.
To prepare for the episode.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
I like John Carpenter.
I like John Carpenter.
Scoring the new film.
Yeah.
Involved.
A pro.
Oh,
Seems like a nice dude. I don't know. I saw him
John
live.
Carpenter?
It was crazy. Yeah.
yeah.
It was awesome. All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening and watching with us this month. Check out patreon.com/easyallies. $7 and up patrons are involved in the conversation. That's where I draw these discussion topics, or I post a discussion topic, and then we all talk about it on Patreon, and we talk about it here on the show. You get the show early. This one, you get the $7 one, you get it as soon as I'm done with it, and then it goes live on Fridays. So usually you get it late Wednesday night or Thursday morning. Yeah. We love you.
Yep.
You keep us alive.
Yep. Hope you enjoyed that.
Hope you enjoyed this episode. Yeah, we'll see you next month with Slasher Films with your host, Michael Huber.
It's going to be intense.
All right. Good night and good movies. Whatever.